Hello everyone. Today we will learn step-by-step SPSS data analysis with a statistical test. The test is multiple linear regression test. We will learn the test with a research example and its data. From the research example, we will first state the research hypothesis and then analyze the data in SPSS step by step, and finally report the result and findings. In the multiple linear regression test output in SPSS, we will first check whether the data meet the assumption of the test, and then we will test the hypothesis. At the end of this video, there is an exercise, and you can download the SPSS data for the exercise and practice your data analysis skill. Everything will be very simple and very easy to understand. So, let us start now. The multiple linear regression test is used in research to investigate the total effect of two or more independent variables on a dependent variable. It is used to estimate how the dependent variable change as the independent variable change. In other words, it is used to predict the change in the dependent variable with several independent variables. The following is a research example of data analysis using the multiple linear regression test. In this example, a researcher reviews the article of E. Paul Tolan that four main factors of creative thinking are fluency, originality, elaboration, and flexibility. Therefore, he conducts a research to investigate whether there is a total effect of fluency, originality, elaboration, and flexibility on creativity of a group of psychology postgraduate students. The respondents are 80 students randomly selected from a psychology faculty student population of a university. In this research, the research design is causal relationship design. In this causal relationship design, there are 5 variables. The 4 independent variables are fluency, originality, elaborations, and flexibility. And the dependent variable is creativity. The 5 variables are measured in score in continuous measurement scale. The objective of this research is to investigate whether fluency, originality, elaboration, and flexibility has an effect on creativity of a group of psychology postgraduate students. The research question is there any effect of fluency, originality, elaboration, and flexibility on creativity of the psychology postgraduate students? The 4 independent variables and creativity are connected with single-headed arrows to show cause and effect between the variables. This means fluency, originality, elaboration, and flexibility are factors or predictors that are predicted influencing creativity of the student. The 5 variables in the rectangles and the single-headed arrows form a conceptual framework of this causal relationship design research. In data collections, the researchers select randomly a research sample consists of 80 students from a psychology postgraduate student population in a university. By using psychological tests, he collects creativity, fluency, originality, elaboration, and flexibility scores from the research sample. We will use this data for data analysis in SPSS. Before analyzing the data, the researcher needs to state the research hypothesis for hypothesis testing. The null hypothesis is there is no significant effect of fluency, originality, elaboration, and flexibility on creativity of the psychology postgraduate student. The research hypothesis is there is a significant effect of fluency, originality, elaboration, and flexibility on creativity of the psychology postgraduate student. In hypothesis testing, if the p-value of the multiple linear regression test is larger or equal to 0.05, the null hypothesis is true. However, if the multiple linear regression test result shows that the p-value is smaller than 0.05, then the research hypothesis is true. We will then reject the null hypothesis and report that there is a significant effect of fluency, originality, elaboration, and flexibility on creativity of the psychology postgraduate student. This concept must be very clear before we analyze the data in SPSS. Before we analyze the data, we need to know the assumptions of the multiple linear regression test. There are 6 assumptions of multiple linear regression test as indicated in this slide. In reporting the result of the analysis, we will first check whether the data meet the assumption of multiple linear regression analysis. Then, report the result of hypothesis testing. Please do not worry about the assumptions. We will discuss them one by one in the SPSS output. To analyze the data in SPSS, put the data in Microsoft Word at the left side and the SPSS data editor at the right side. As can be seen in the data, in this research we have 5 variables. The dependent variable, creativity, and the 4 independent variables or predictors are fluency, originality, elaboration, and flexibility. Before entering the data, we need to label the 5 variables in the variable view in SPSS. To do this, click the variable view at the bottom, then type the name one by one into the name column. Creativity, fluency, originality, elaboration, and flexibility. A single word is only allowed for each variable in the name column. Then, type the full name of the variable in the label column. We can highlight the 5 variable names in the name column, right-click, and copy the variables. Then, highlight the 5 rows in the label column and right-click and paste them. For this data, other columns are optional. We can leave them without labeling them. With this, we have complete labeling the variables in the variable view. To enter the data into the SPSS, click the Data View button at the bottom. Now, we can see 5 columns for the 5 variables that we have labeled their name. In the Microsoft table, highlight the data of the 5 variables. Then, right-click and copy. Then, return to the SPSS data. Click the first cell and right-click and paste the data into the SPSS. Now the data is ready for data analysis.